Icon signs an MOU with Deloitte. Chinese giant Alipay's parent company creates a $14 billion blockchain development fund. Fortnight mentioned more times by big companies in recent earnings seasons than cryptocurrency. Another Bitcoin Cash mining pool agrees to zero-fee transactions. Experts continue to predict a reversal to this bearish Bitcoin trend within the next few days. Analysis shows that Bitcoin hodlers and speculators are nearly evenly matched. Chinese Google Baidu announces a blockchain-based video game. Universities begin to invest in blockchain, signaling institutional interest. South Korean exchange Bithumb passes its audit with flying colors. And what do medical cannabis, Dennis Rodman, North Korea, and cryptocurrency share in common? We'll tell you in just a second. We've got all your headlines mixed with some daily market analysis. I'm Elio Trades, and your FUD TV daily update starts now. Welcome back, FUD Nation. Now, we're going to start off today on a little bit of a somber note because I woke up to the news that Anthony Bourdain had passed. Anthony Bourdain was the hero and an influence in my life, and I had always looked up to him as a content creator, a journalist, the ability to tell stories through food. I just want to take a second to remember him as an influence on my life and anyone that he affected, and it brings up a larger point of mental health. And I don't think there's any way that anyone can look into someone next to them or one of their friends and just know if they're having thoughts of suicide or depression. And so I just want to encourage everyone to be more active in even taking care of yourselves, because only you really know when you're having those dark feelings, those negative feelings. And I want to encourage you to always know that you have someone to call. There's always someone to call, and there's always another choice. I'm going to put up some resources, a phone number down here on the bottom of the screen. If you're feeling any kinds of thoughts of depression or suicide, just call this number, call anyone, because there's always another option. Switching back to a lighter note, we have the comment giveaway winner from yesterday's video. It is BC, who commented, "Great video, Elio. You know I'd look damn good in an EOST even though they buy their own coins. Winky face." Here's the deal. We're going to comment below. You're going to tell us what your email address is. We're going to put our email address in so we know that you're the right respondent, and you're going to send us an email and we'll get you your t-shirt. Awesome stuff. We'll do more giveaways in the future. In very bullish news from Icon, we have word that they've signed an MOU with Deloitte. Obviously, Deloitte is an international financial group. They're going to help embolden and strengthen blockchain projects as they try to reach towards commercialization, which is of course Icon's main objective, and their Loop Chain project is really just an amazing platform for enterprises to better harness the power of blockchain. So I think this is a great match. Obviously, Deloitte is not uniquely positioned only to help Icon. They have working relationships with several blockchains, but it's a good sign. It just shows that Icon is keeping trucking, putting more and more partnerships in the pipeline. Very bullish on Icon, and the more news like this, the merrier. And we've just got word that Chinese fintech giant Alipay's parent company, Ant Financial, is actually going to be doing a $14 billion blockchain development fund. Of course, when you keep hearing about the price speculation going in one direction, and then on the other hand, you have news of the biggest, most trusted, most successful financial groups in the world investing heavily into the future of this industry, well, you can smell which way the big money is running. We know that the future of the blockchain industry is the same as the future of the financial, economic, internet infrastructure. This is the future, pure and simple. You can see it by the way the big money's acting. Hundreds of millions of dollars going into Bitcoin mining operations. We're not just talking about blockchain. We're talking about the value of cryptocurrencies, the value of liquid blockchains as well. All of it is set to do extremely well, and all you have to do is check to see what the smartest, most educated, most successful investors in the world are doing, and they're establishing multi-billion-dollar blockchain development funds. The writing is on the wall. And smash hit video game sensation Fortnite has apparently been more of a hot topic for big companies than cryptocurrency over the most recent quarter of earnings. And that's not really surprising considering how lackluster the price action has been on cryptocurrency. As soon as that heats up, however, we can assume that Fortnite and most other individual businesses will absolutely pale in comparison to the interest that big companies and big investment groups will have in the cryptocurrency industry. Though I did find this article pretty funny, I would say that this isn't much to be worried about, as just like everyone else, big business people and people who aren't so intimately acquainted with the goings on of the blockchain industry are going to be paying attention more to these smash hit sensations like Fortnite. And this is not to take away from Fortnite, which is arguably one of the most successful video games in history, racking in almost $280 million in 1 month. What an amazing project. What an amazing community they've built globally. So if you're a Fortnite player supporter, I know that we have some Fortniters here on the FUD team. So shout out Fortnite. Hopefully cryptocurrency can come back and take that crown back away from Fortnite. But either way, it's an interesting article and an interesting comparison. And we've just learned that the second largest Bitcoin Cash mining pool has agreed to process zero-fee transactions. Essentially what that means is that when your transactions pass through a mining pool, technically those miners are supposed to take fees for processing the transactions. However, these big mining pools that are run by Bitcoin Cash whales, primarily Jihan Wu was the first one, the Bitmain sort of Bitcoin Cash mining pools, as well as those controlled by Roger Ver, those are the ones that sort of started this trend, and they're hoping to create more of a trend around sort of a fast, feeless peer-to-peer cash system. That's the whole idea of Bitcoin Cash, is to have it function just like cash, so it's really easy to switch hands, very easy to transfer fast and free. We'll see if this trend catches on. It's a little bit confusing because it's not really in the miner's best interest financially, but then again, there's the other side of it, whereas if Bitcoin Cash gains a ton of adoption because of this fast, feeless sort of system they've created, then the ownership of the coin will offset maybe the loss in any kinds of revenues that they would have from foregoing those fees. We'll just have to see how this plays out, but it's definitely an interesting strategy by the Bitcoin Cash community to provide a unique and novel way to become a more trusted, more useful peer-to-peer cash system. And global cryptocurrency advisors Fundstrat predict that Bitcoin's price is due for a breakout within the next few days. Obviously, this is the story that we've been telling, the story that we've been hearing, so we're certainly strapped into our seats, seatbelts on, ready for this ride to take off. I can tell you very much so that I am, and I'm expecting some kind of a reversal throughout this early part of June. We need to start really breaking towards a real healthy Bitcoin price. And when I say healthy, I believe that term should be reserved for anything above 11.8 Bitcoin, 11.8K, 12K. Those are real big points of resistance that I don't think it's going to be so easy to get behind. So we need to start working towards that. Obviously, it feels like a while away from where we are, but if we are able to penetrate that 12K Bitcoin, I'd say that we're back on track to have a very, very bullish year. But we need to start showing signs of it here in June. That's what the TA is showing. That's what the experts are showing. That's what the sort of general TA off of the initial crash was showing. So we'll see how this plays out. But of course, we would all like to believe that this is a correct prediction. And an interesting data analysis has showed that the amount of speculators to hodlers is almost evenly matched in the market. Now, there are 17 million coins here, and they only said there's about 5 million speculators versus 5 million hodlers, so obviously they're missing a whole third of the coins there. But regardless, I think this is an interesting statistic, as it's showing that less and less people are buying Bitcoin with the intention of just holding on to it. And this news can be read in one of two ways. You could say that, oh, people are less confident in the long-term vision of the price, and of course that's going to happen as price action shows less stable, continual growth. But I also see it as an opportunity for Bitcoin to start being used and transacted upon in more of a stable way. Even while we're in this dip, we can turn back to its initial utility as a currency. And I think that's something that people forget, and the less we use it like a currency with utility, I feel like the less it tends to hold the place in society that really brought it into the place that it is now, which is it is an incredible way to have financial services rendered upon the entire world without friction. This could lead to much more utilization of Bitcoin as a currency, which I don't see as a negative thing at all, and I don't think it negatively affects the long-term speculative price action either. So while there are more speculators or day traders now than there were maybe in comparison to the hodlers a couple months ago, I see this as not a bad thing because it could trigger more utility. And of course, we'll get many more hodlers as soon as we get more price action back in the Bitcoin charts. The Chinese Google, Baidu, has just announced that they're going to be introducing a blockchain-based game that's called Interstellar, where essentially you build a planet and you make it unique and whatever. It kind of sounds a lot like the Galaxy D-app that we heard coming out on Zeepin. Obviously, Baidu is a much bigger player in the world than a Zeepin D-app creator, but regardless, we can just see the biggest, most influential internet giants in America and China, all around the world, are turning to this technology because of the incredible amount of prosperity it's going to create. I found this kind of cute, actually, and you never know which one of these games is really just going to take the world by storm, be sort of like the real CryptoKitties, the real app that just takes over spreads and just gets everybody sort of using, investing, and thinking about cryptocurrencies in a more casual way, the use case, if you will, that gets more mass adoption. So I'm a big fan of whenever I see this. I think taking a less than serious approach sometimes is needed to get people to adopt technology. If you think about it, people really adopted the internet when they used Facebook and when they used Netflix and when they used things that entertain them. So I think that it's less about the serious technological implications and it's more about these use cases. So I'm very bullish when I see things like this. And we've just gotten word that universities have started to invest in blockchain. Of course, if you remember in the 90s, universities were some of the first entities to set up internet connections and really distribute internet around the world. It was a university sort of centric project. And so when we start getting whiffs of development and trends that were happening in the 90s as it pertains to internet, I get very excited because, of course, universities don't like to lose money. They're not risky investors. These are investors that have whiffs of institutional investment sort of strategy. They want long-term stable investments. And of course, when they're moving their money into an industry, you know it's a bullish sign. So I'm extremely excited when I saw the news that universities are starting to invest heavily in blockchain. At any rate, more bullishness and more excitement in the blockchain space. And if anyone was following the whole Bithumb audit situation from a month or two ago, apparently they've cleared their audit with flying colors and that they did nothing even remotely illegal. So they've gotten a 5-star review here, if you will. And that's just great news because Bithumb's one of the biggest exchanges in the world. So it's good to hear that their name's been cleared because anything that happens to these big exchanges tends to really negatively affect the market. So hopefully this can get back to South Koreans and the Bithumb community going back to enjoying a high quality trading experience over there. Good stuff, Bithumb. And yes, that is correct. Dennis Rodman, North Korea, medical cannabis, cryptocurrency, all converging in the same news article. The reason is because an altcoin called Potcoin, which focuses on serving the medical cannabis industry in the United States, was very supportive of Dennis Rodman's peace mission as it pertains to building relationships between the United States and North Korea. And they are actually wanting to fund his journey to the North Korean Peace Summit to help bring closer ties between the Un family and our leadership here in America. While I may never invest in Potcoin, I can say that this is without a doubt my favorite piece of news that I read today. Let's go, Dennis Rodman, our biggest chance at international peace. I never thought those words would come out of my mouth. And it is the weekend. So what does that mean? Other than weekend memes.
Oh yeah!
When you have some shit coins in your portfolio, but they're disguised. I don't know, this isn't even like a really good crypto meme, but I just like this picture of this cat with the, oh, it's good. Oh, come on, look at this little bunny. Oh yeah, Lambo time. Just bought a Lambo, thanks Neo. And if you haven't read the Monopoly rules recently, yeah, they're pretty messed up. Some players think the bank is bankrupt if it runs out of money. The bank never goes bankrupt. To continue playing, use slips of paper to keep track of each player's banking transactions until the bank has enough paper money to operate again. The banker may also issue new money on slips of ordinary paper. I think the Monopoly man was a little too familiar with our current financial system. Hope you enjoyed today's FUD TV update. Obviously, there's going to be more memes, more giveaways, more bullish news each and every day, so come back to this channel. And if you're not subscribed, we encourage you to hit that sub button and hit that bell notification so you're made aware whenever we put out new content. I'm Elio Trades, you're watching FUD TV, and I'll see you very, very soon on the next episode.